ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ ಫಂಡ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋದು
ನಾನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ರಿ
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ
ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್
ಆಫೀಸು ಅರಸೋದು ಭಾಳ ಭಾಳ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಬಾರಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್
Dude.
All the pages are requested to move to India and the recipients themselves. So all the participants are requested to move to India and the recipients.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರ್ತದ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿರಿ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್ ಓಕೆ
Very good morning to all. Hello. I request all the participants to mute your audio. I request. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I request all the participants to mute the audio. Naimut Mullah, sir, please mute the audio. Very good morning to all. Myself, Dr. Lokesh, Associate Professor, Department of Information Science Engineering, Bashishngal Bagalkot. I take this opportunity to introduce the speaker of the today's session is Professor Raghavendra Acharya S. Sir has completed Information Science Engineering degree from Siddhganga Institute of Technology, Tumkur. And Sir has also completed a Master of Technology in Digital Communication Networking from Oxford Engineering College, Bangalore. Currently Sir is pursuing PhD in VTU Belgavi. The Sir is currently working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science Engineering, Case Institute of Technology, Bangalore for the past 8 years. And Sir has handled various subjects such as programming in C, data structures and its applications, design and analysis of algorithms, C# programming language, Java and J2EE, Python programming language, big data analytics, etc. So this is a brief introduction of Raghavendra Acharya. Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I vote to you. Raghavendra sir. Raghavendra sir, I vote to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Just you
Thank
can.
you.
Okay, sir. Okay, start the session, sir. Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It was my great pleasure to be a part of this FDP to share my little knowledge about Python programming language. And as Lokesh sir told, currently I'm working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at KS Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. So today I'm going to cover, these are the topics about Python programming language. Very first one is introduction, variables, expression, state conditional execution, function. If it's a new programming language, person has to know how to define the variable first, because variables plays a vital role irrespective of the programming language. So for that purpose, I have taken the first session as variables, first part. Second one is, if it is any programming language, we need to perform some mathematical operations to perform the operations on the formula. If we perform any operation on mathematical expression, first of all, we need to know how to write an expression in that respective programming language. So for that purpose, second thing I have taken here as expression. Next one is a statement. Irrespective of the programming language, each statement plays a vital role. I think you people know, if I am going to write any single statement on the editor, any single line on the editor, that line we are going to consider as a statement, whatever it may be. Any simple line we are going to write it on an editor in the programming language, that we are going to consider as a statement. So that is the thing we are going to discuss in the statement part, how we can able to write a simple statement in the Python programming language. Next one is conditional executions. Obviously, we want to skip our execution from one part of the program to the another part of the program based upon the user requirement. Based upon the user requirement. So for that purpose, we have to learn the concept of conditional executions. I hope you people know what exactly the meaning of a conditional execution because you people already studied C, C++, Java. Here we are going to discuss how we are going to use such a conditional execution statements in Python programming language by considering very simple examples. Here I am trying to convey you people to how we are going to write a simple task in the Python program. And after that, irrespective of the programming language, functions plays a vital role. I'm not going to give much explanation about the function because if we belonging to computer science or information science technology, everyone knows what exactly is the meaning of a function, what is the procedure of a function. So now here we are going to discuss how we are going to write a function in Python programming language. Very simple thing I have considered here. And finally, last concept we are discussing in this session here is iterations. I think what is the meaning of iteration? Because if we want to execute a body of the program repeated number of time, by specifying some condition means we have to use the concept of iteration. These are very basic things we are going to discuss in the first session, that is introduction, variables, expression, statements, conditional executions, functions, and iteration. So coming to the point of first one, introduction part, that is Python is a high level interpreted and general purpose dynamic language that focuses on code readability. It has a fewer steps when compared to Java and C. Obviously, if we compare Python programming language with Java, C, C++, C hash, we are going to form a very few steps when compared to the other language. It was user friendly. It was founded in 1991 by developer Guido van Rossum. It is used in many organizations as it supports multiple programming paradigms. It also performs automatic memory management. Next, here is, if we are going to study any new programming language, very first thing we need to know what is the advantage if we are going to study that programming language. So for that purpose, I kept one slide on the advantages of Python programming language here. That is, it's a presence of third-party modules, extensive support libraries, that is NumPy for numerical calculations and Pandas for data analytics. These libraries we are going to study in the next session that will be given by Edunandan sir. Next, open source and community development, easy to learn, user-friendly data structures, high-level language, dynamically typed language. So this is highly important here in case of Python. If we consider C program, if we want to define the variable means, we need to follow the syntax. What is the syntax? We need to write data type, we need to write variable name. So there is no concept of data type in case of Python programming language. For a given variable, what value, which value you are going to assign
This
based
conference
upon
will now be recorded.
so which value we are going to assign. So for a variable, which value we are going to assign. So based upon that assigned value, your interpreter or Python interpreter will going to decide about the data type of that variable. So this is an highly important concept with respect to the Python programming language. And next one is object-oriented language. I think many of the people know what exactly the concept of object-oriented. If I say object-oriented, everyone knows that it will be having some scenario called as classes, object, and futures of object-oriented means inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. So that object-oriented concept also supports by the Python programming language here. Next one is Python programming language is portable and interactive. Python programming language is portable and interactive, and it will be portable across operating system. These are the very interesting advantages of Python programming language. Next one is after the advantages, we need to know the application of that language, particular language. So what are the application of this language here is, we can use it for GUI based desktop applications such as games, scientific applications, web frameworks and applications, enterprise and business applications, operating systems, language development, and prototyping. So these are the very important applications that will be provided by the Python programming language. Next one, organizations using Python. So which are all the organizations that will be used for Python for both purposes here is Google, especially for Spider and search engine, and Yahoo for maps, YouTube, Mozilla, Dropbox, Microsoft, Cisco, Spotify, Quora, and etc. These are the very familiar organization. It will be used by the these are the organizations it will going to use the Python programming language. Next one is, so this is a brief introduction about Python programming language. I kept it in this presentation. Next one is, if you want to study any new programming language, means very first thing is, we need to install its respected package or respected software. So if we want to run a simple Python program in our system, means what is the first thing we are supposed to do? What is the first thing we are supposed to do? So what is the first thing we are supposed to do here is, we have to install latest version of Python. I think I have used Python 3 here. I have used Python 3 here. Next one is, this is for the installation of a Python, and after that we are going to use an editor as Anaconda here, because Anaconda provides a beautiful library for data analytic applications. Anaconda provides a beautiful library for data analytics applications with the help of Spider or with the help of Jupyter Notebook, that we are going to study in detail in the next session. So very first thing is, you have to install Python, and after that editor as we have to install Anaconda. So from the respective IDs, I think you will, these are the previous software, you can get it in the website. So these are the steps we are supposed to follow. Very first thing is, we need to install a Python, and after that we need to install a Anaconda. And after that, so this is all about the installation part. And before I am going to start with the Python programming language, I need to convey the differences between interpreter and compiler. I think majority of the people are aware of what you mean by compiler. Compiler is an module which converts high-level language into the mission-level language, that everyone knows. So in the introduction part, I taught you people that Python is an interpreted language. So what is the difference between interpreter and compiler here is, you have to understand this concept very carefully. Because if he is a Python programmer, means first he has to know the difference between interpreter and compiler. So an interpreter reads the source code of the program as written by the programmer, parses the source code and interprets the instructions on the fly. So what is the mean by interpretation? Interpretation is just like a communication between a person and the system. Say for example, this is my input. We are going to give to the computer, means at the part time it will go to give the output to you people there itself. So that is the concept of interpretation. I can say that it's a normal way of communication between the user and the system. But that is not the case in case of compiler. If we consider the compiler, what exactly we are supposed to do? We have to write a program in a file, and we have to save that file with the respected extension, and we have to convert that file into the machine level language. So these are the steps we are supposed to do. So that is not the case in case of Python. Interpreter means it's a line by line execution. So that's what I have given the clear point here. An interpreter reads the source code of the program as written by the programmer, parses the source code, and interprets the instructions on the fly. A compiler needs to be handed the entire program in a file, then it runs the program to translate high-level source code into machine language, and then the compiler puts the resulting machine language into a file for later execution. So that is the difference between interpreter and compiler. So I will give you, or I will show you the simple example so that you will come to know that how the interpretation will happen here. So that's what the Python interpreter is written in a high-level language called C. Interpreter itself is a program here. Interpreter itself is a program here. So that's what Python is a program itself and is compiled into machine code. So I think you people come to know that what is the difference between interpreter and the compiler. So it once again, just a normal way of communication between the user and the system. But that is not the case in case of. So here I have considered. So as I told you, I have to install a Python. I have to install a Python and I have to set the environment variable path. And if I want to run a Python code, means what exactly we are supposed to do means I need to open the command prompt. So once I open the command prompt, I need to change my directory, that is cd space Python. So this in the folder Python, that respected for, assume that I have one file, that file with the name as first.py. Assume that I have one file, the name of that file here is first.py. That first.py file is present in a folder called as Python. So I need to change my directory. So that's what I did here, that is cd space Python. So I have changed my directory, and how to execute a Python code through the command prompt means I need to use a command as Python. I think if we want to run a Java file means I need to use Java space or Java C space file name.java or Java space class name. So like that, in the same way, that again step is not possible in case of Python. If I execute a simple Python means just I need to write Python space file name.py. So what is the content which is present in the file? That we are going to get it in the welcome to Python here. So I will show how exactly we are supposed to write a simple program in Python. So just I am telling you people how to run a simple code here. And after that, how I told you, right, the interpreter. So how exactly we are supposed to use the concept of an interpreter means I need to open the command prompt, and after opening the command prompt I need to type Python in the command window. Python interpreter will start executing in the interactive mode. So how we will come to know that Python interpreter has started? We are going to get this simple, this 3 arrow on the command prompt. So that's what you can observe in the second window here. So once I go to the, I need to verify, I need to ensure that whether the Python has installed successfully or what. In the command prompt, I need to write Python. So it is showing it has been installed successfully. And how I can run the Python means, how I can start my interpreter means I need to write the Python. This arrow mark has been started. It means that you are in interpreter mode. You are in interpreter mode. And after that, here directly I have written the code here. That is, if you want to print any statement on the console window means I need to use the concept. I need to use a function called as print function. So keep that in your mind here. Here there is no concept of including the header file, and there is no concept of if I want to execute anything, if I want to write any classes, that and all not there here. If I want to print anything onto the console window, just I need to write print open brace. What text message we are supposed to get printed on the output window, that content we need to write it. So open the command prompt, just type the Python so that it will be in the interpreter mode. So print welcome to Python programming language. So whenever I am going to type this code on the console window, I got the statement directly here, that is welcome to Python programming language. So you can observe that this is the input and this is the output. So this way of communication we are going to call it as an interpreter. So I hope you people come to know that what is the difference between interpreter and compiler here. So again, press enter, press enter. If I want to print any one more message onto the console window, just you write print, open brace, single or double quote, both again we can able to use, name, Raghu. So we got the output here itself. And after that, press enter, press enter. So if you are going to see this symbol on the console window, it means that still you are in the interpreter mode only. Still you are in the interpreter mode only. So how I can come outside from the interpreter mode means just I need to type quit command. So that once you are going to type the quit command here, you are coming out from the interpreter mode here. So this is the way of running a simple Python program in the command prompt. So why I have taken this concept means just I need to convey the concept of interpreter here. And after that, once you install the Anaconda and once you open the Anaconda editor, so you are going to get the view like this. So Jupyter Notebook, various libraries are available here. Various beautiful libraries are available in this Jupyter Notebook. And in this session, I have considered Spider. This is an editor from which we can able to execute a simple program. So like this type of window, you are going to get it on the screen. So this is the view of your Anaconda navigator. Next one is once you open the, so I have considered Spider. Once I click on the launch of the Spider, so we are going to get the window like this. And if I want to create any new file means I need to click on this. It will be created a new file for few people. And once you create the file, you have to give the file with the extension as py. You have to give the file name with the extension as py. So if it is a C program, the extension is .c. If it is a C++, the extension is .cpp. If it is a Java, if it is a CS.cs. In case of Python extension, we are supposed to give it here as .py. Assume that I have created a new file and I have given the name as temp and extension as py here. And if you want to print message on the console window, if I want to print a message, if I want to print a message on the console window means I need to write just print open brace, colon, welcome to programming. Print colon print. And once you run this code, you are going to get the output on the console window. That is, this is the code. I keep that in your mind. There is no concept of header file. There is no concept of a class. There is no concept of a main function here. So that's why it is very simple when compared to C, Java, CS, anything. So that this is the simple way of writing a code onto the console window. So this is how we are going to print a message on the console window here. And one more thing, conversing with Python. So as I told you, Python is an interpreter language. I need to write the Python. So once you type the Python, your interpreter mode comes into exist. If I want to write anything, that is, this is, I'm running the code in the console window. That is print hello world. It will be getting printed on the output window. And instead of going for the print, just I have typed in hello world. This is an error, the syntax error. Print welcome to Python, and welcome to, because I'm not following the syntax here, So how to come out from the interpreter mode means I need to write quit function. I need to write quit function here. Next, so this is all about brief introduction about how to run a simple code in the Python. Next concept I have chosen here is variables. So how to define the variables in Python means name of the variable I need to write, that is message. Here I have assigned string here, some statement here. So since I am assigning a string to the variable message, your interpreter will decide that message is a variable of type string. And second line, n is equal to 17. Since I am assigning an integer to the variable n, your interpreter will decide n is a variable of type integer. Third thing, pi is equal to 3.14 something, the fraction part here. Since you are assigning a fraction to the variable py, your interpreter will treat that py is a variable of type float. So how I can able to know which type of the variable message, which type of the variable n, which type of the variable py here means I need to take the help of type function. So again in the interpreter mode, type, you can pass the variable name as the parameter here. So it will give that message belonging to the class str. Type n, it belonging to the class integer. Type py, it belonging to the class float. So this is how we are going to define the variables in Python. So this is the way of defining the variable in Python. Keep that in your mind. In case of Python, there is no concept of data type. In case of Python, there is no concept of data type. Next one is variable names and keywords. Rules to declare a variable. I think majority of the people are know how to define the variable. Same rules apply in Python also. Same rules apply in Python also. So what is the first rule? Variable names can be arbitrarily long. They can contain both letters and numbers, but they cannot start with a number. It is legal to use uppercase letters, but it is good idea to begin variable names with a lowercase letter. The underscore character can appear in a name. It is often used in names with multiple words such as my underscore name or 8-speed underscore, off underscore, unladder underscore swallow. Variable names can start with an underscore character, but we generally avoid doing this unless we are writing a library code for others to use. So same rules, it will be applied for the Python variables also, no difference here. Next one is here some of the valid or invalid things we have considered here. So 76, for this, why this is a syntax error? Because this variable has started with the number here, that is 76. Next, more at the rate. Why this is an invalid syntax? Because we are using special character here. Because we are using special character here. So in the same way, class is equal to this thing. Why this is an invalid syntax? Because class is a keyword. We are not supposed to use keyword as a variable name. So this is an important thing you are supposed to remember here. Next one is some of the Python keywords are. So these are the 35 keywords are present in the Python. So you can have a look at all this. That is what are the Python keywords are present here. That is you can see that and, as, assert, break, class, continue, definition. So around 35 keywords are present in the Python. Next one is I will take the concept of statements here. So I told you in the beginning, right? What you mean by statement means any single line in the programming language that we are going to consider as a statement. That's it. Any single line in a programming language that we are going to consider as a statement. How to write a simple, I think we have already discussed a statement in the previous slides. Print hello world, that is also a statement. So that is the thing. For example, the script, that is print 1, x is equal to 2, print x. So produces print 1 means directly it will going to give the output as 1 here. And the second line I have considered one variable called as x, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 2, print x. It produces output 1 and 2. The assignment statement produces no output here. The assignment statement produces no output here. Next concept here is operators and operands. So again the Python provides plus, minus, multiplication, division and two asterisk symbol which convey you people that this is for exponentiation. So this is the new thing you should remember here. So I think plus for addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, slash for division, and these two star symbol it will be for exponentiation purpose we are supposed to use. Next one, how we are supposed to use the operator, that is minute is equal to 59, minute by 60. This is for division. This is for division. And one more thing, there is a difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So what is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3 here is, In case of Python 3, if you are going to use single slash operator, you are going to get, in case of Python 2, if you are going to Python 2 divides, the division operator in Python 2 would divide two integers and truncate the result into an integer. So minute is equal to 59, minute by 60. This is with respect to the Python 2. Actually, we are supposed to expect fraction part, but we are not getting the fraction part here. So to obtain the same answer in Python 3.0, use double slash integer division to get the exact result. So in Python 3.4, integer division functions much more as you would expect if you enter the expression on calculator. So this is an important thing you should remember here. That is minute is equal to 59, minute slash 60, it will give you the fraction part. The division operator in Python 2.4 divides the entire thing here. So if I want to get the truncated part in case of Python 3 means I need to use slash slash 2 slash operator we are supposed to use. Next one is expressions. I think I won't take much time in the expression, because if I say expression, everyone know it's a sequence of operator and operands. It's a sequence of operator and operands. I will consider this example. So type the following statements in Python interpreter to see what they would do. So if I want to run the code in the Python interpreter means I need to go to the command prompt. In the command prompt, I need to type Python. So once you type the Python in the command prompt, your interpreter turns on. So what is the thing they are telling? First, I need to type 5 here. So I have written 5. Once you press enter, what exactly you have typed, same thing I got it here. Next, what is the thing we are supposed to do? X is equal to 1, x plus 1. Earlier, x is equal to 1 we have assigned. X plus 1, just it has calculated the result as 2 here. So this is the way of using the expressions here. Next one is order of operations. I think if it is an expression contains more than two operator means which order we are supposed to follow. So same thing in case of Python also. First we need to give the priority for parenthesis. Second one we need to give the priority for exponential. Third one we need to give the priority for multiplication and division. And finally, last one we need to give the priority for addition and subtraction. So this is the priority we are supposed to follow in case of Python also. So I will repeat it once again. Very first thing, I need to give the priority for parenthesis. Next one is exponential. Next one is multiplication and division. And finally, last one is addition and subtraction. And modulus operator, I think modulus operator, obviously it will give us the reminder. Same thing, modulus operator obviously will give us the reminder here. Next one is some exercise they have considered here, that is assume that execute the following assignment statement, that is width is equal to 17, height is equal to 12.0. If width is equal to 17, height is equal to 12.0 means if we are going to perform this operation, that is width slash slash 2, width slash 2.4, height slash 3, 1 plus 2 star 5, what is the answer we are going to get it. So that is an exercise I have considered here. So for this exercise, I have considered the interpreter board here. For this exercise, I have considered interpreter, that is width is equal to 17, height is equal to 12.0, width slash slash 2. So I got the answer as 8 here. Obviously, this is an integer division. In case of Python 3, if we want to perform the integer division means I need to take the 2 slash symbol here. Same thing, width slash 2.0, we got the answer as 8.5 here. And width slash 2, we got the answer as 8.5 here. And 8 slash 3, we got the answer as 4.0. And 1 plus 2 star 5, what is the answer? I think this you know, right? First it will evaluate 2 star 5, then it will evaluate 10 plus 1. So we got the answer as 11. So I will come to this part, the width double slash 2. So 17 divided by 2, what is the answer? We are going to get it as 8.5. Since we are using integer division, 2 slash symbol, that fraction part will get truncated and we got the answer as 8 here. Width 2.0. So this is this has to give us the fraction 40 because this is a simple single slash symbol. We got to answer as 8.5, and here also width slash 2. So width is also an integer, 2 is also an integer, but we are using single slash symbol. So we got the answer as 8.5 because I am using Python 3 here. So another some of the example I have considered here, that is minus 11 mod 9. I got the answer as 7. How the answer is 7 here is, it will shift to the next flooring division. That is, what is the 9? What is the next multiplication product we are going to get? 9 plus 9. What is the answer? 18. 18 minus 11 is 7. So like that, we need to do the calculation. So 7.7, 2 modulus operator 7, we got the answer as 1.0. Again, this is a compound expression. You have to know, first I need to give the priority for bracket, then I need to give the priority for multiplication, then I need to give the priority for division. And if I consider this one, first I need to give the priority for exponentiation, that is 1 power 2 is 2, 1 power 2 is 1, 1 star 5 is 5. So this is some simple expression I have considered to convey the concept of how expression has evaluated in Python programming language. So one thing you should remember in a evaluation of an expression in Python means, if you are going to use single slash symbol, your Python 3 will gives you the fraction part, but we don't want fraction part, means we need to use 2 slash symbol. Again, some of the result I have considered in the interpreter mode here, that is minus 5 mod 10. How exactly we got to answer as 5 here is, what is the next 10 minus, so it won't do any next flooring division, that is 10 minus 5 is 5. Directly it has given the answer, minus 10 mod 20, so 20 minus 10 is 10 here, minus 11 mod, so 9 minus 11 we are not supposed to do, so that what exactly we need to do, I need to shift into the next flooring division, that is 9 plus 9, what is the answer? 18. So 18 minus 11 we got the answer as 7. So 12 minus 25 we are not supposed to do. Again I need to shift it to the next flooring division. That is 12 plus 12, what is the answer? 24. Again 24 minus 25 is not possible. Again I need to add one more 12 to that product. That is 12 plus 12 plus 12, what is the answer? 36. 36 minus 25, the answer is 11. So this is the evaluation of an expression part. You can go through that one. So this is all about expression part. Next one is how we can read the input from the keyboard. So right now we have discussed how we can print the message on the output window with the help of print statement. Here we are discussing how we can accept the value from the console. So with the help of input function, say for example, one variable INP, if I want to give any input through the console window means I need to use the input function. So once you are going to type like this, that is in INP is equal to input, press enter, it will wait for you to enter some value. So whatever the value you have entered, that will be accumulated in the variable INP. So print INP, we got the answer. That is some silly stuff. Next one here is, so name is equal to input. What is your name? In the input function itself, it is possible to pass the parameter like this. That is name is equal to input of what is your name. So what is the parameter you people passed here? That will be gets printed on the console window. And after that, it will be waiting you to enter some value, that is step. That will be gets accumulated in the variable name. And when you are going to use print name, that will be gets printed on the output window. So one important point here is, the sequence / at the end of the prompt represents a new line, which is a special character that causes a line break. That's why the user input appears below the prompt. So if we want to read anything from the console window in Python programming language means we need to use input function. And some simple example I have considered for better understanding. Just I have did some basic arithmetic operation here. What I did here is I have considered one variable a, that is equal to input of enter the value of the first operand. So to read anything from the console, I need to use input function. Whatever value you have entered in the console, that will be in the form of string. But we don't want that string format. In this case, we want that entered value in the form of integer. So if it is the case, I need to do explicit typecasting. So this is the way of doing explicit typecasting. It means that read the content from the keyboard. After accepting the content from the keyboard, you convert that accepted input into the integer format. You convert that accepted input into the integer format. Say for example, I want the input in the float means I need to write float here. That's it. So why we are supposed to do explicit typecasting here means whatever the data you are going to read through the console window, that will be in the form of string. If it is accepting the string, printing a string, no matter of explicit typecasting conversion. In case of any mathematical operation, any evaluation of an expression like that, if that is the case, I need to do explicit typecasting. So this is the way of doing explicit typecasting. So first statement will read the first value A, second statement will read the second value B. And after that, if I want to add the two values, means just I need to write sum is equal to A plus B. So that your interpreter will add the value of A to B, and the result it will get append to the variable sum. In the same way, sub is equal to A minus B. So after calculating the addition, there itself I am printing the message on the output window. So this is the way of printing the message on the console window in case of Python. So there is no concept of format specifiers here. There is no concept of format specifiers here. That is, this is the way of printing the message onto the console window. Next, sub is equal to A minus B. Subtraction of two numbers is sub. Product is equal to A star B. The multiplication of two numbers is product. Division is equal to A by B. And keep that in your mind. I am truncating, so it will going to consider the fraction part also. Even though two variables are integer here, it will consider the fraction part also. Say for example, if I want to truncate the fraction part in Python means I need to use to/ operator. Print the division of two numbers is division. Remainder is equal to A mod B. It will give us the remainder part. So this is the way, this is a simple Python program. This conveys you people how we can read the input from the keyboard and how we can perform some mathematical operation. And keep that in your mind. There is no concept of variable declaration part. There is no concept of header file inclusion, and there is no concept of class here. So for that purpose, comparatively, Python is very simple comparative when it compared to C and Java. Next example, if I want to perform any other mathematical operation means I need to take A is equal to int input of enter the base, B is equal to int input of enter the height. So I'm calculating the area, I'm printing the area onto the console window. So this is an, I think this is an area of a triangle, we can able to calculate it in this way. Next one is the circle, it is possible to calculate in this manner, that is R is equal to 4. You can observe one more important point here is, here once I read the input, that input we should accept in the form of float. So for that purpose, we are typecasting that into the float here. Area is equal to like this. So this is the way of printing the output on the console window. So that's all about the first part, that is variables and statements and expressions. Next concept here is conditional execution. So what is the purpose of going for a conditional execution, that everyone knows already. Say for example, if we want to skip the part of if we want to pass the control from one part of the program to the another part of the program means I need to take the help of some conditional statements. So if we are using the concept of conditional statement, you have to know the concept of Boolean expression. I think same thing, it is a two equality operator is for, it will check whether LHS and RHS values are, again if it is not equal, we are going to get the false. These are the Boolean operator. Type true, this belonging to the class bool. Type false, this belonging to the class bool here. And some of the Boolean expressions I can consider here is not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and x is y. What do you mean by x is y here is, X is same as Y. X is not Y, X is not the same as Y. So this is how we can able to use the Boolean expressions here. And logical operators. I think logical operators everyone knows already. That is in case of Python, we are using the logical operators for logical AND as A and D, for logical OR as AR. I think you know how it will be working. Logical and logical OR. So 17 and true, obviously it will go into true. So this is the logical operator we need to use here. And next one is conditional execution. So conditional execution means if it is true, I need to execute that particular body. Otherwise, I need to go to the next one. So how we can use the if statement in Python means I need to write if keyword space. I need to write the expression here that is x greater than and has to be terminated with the colon. Press enter and press tab. This is highly important. Indentation plays a vital role in the Python programming language. So if you are going to miss the indentation, obviously you are not going to get the expected result. Indentation plays a vital result in Python programming language. I will tell you if expression I have given that is x is greater than 0 followed by colon, press enter, press tab. Obviously it has to consider one tab space here. Print x is positive. And this is the flowchart for this. And this is the explanation. I will come to the example directly here. So what is the thing we are doing? So this is for a simple if statement. I have considered this example. That is marks is equal to int of input, enter the marks of the first subject. If marks is greater than 60, logical and marks is less than 80, colon, press enter, press tab. So there are two statements I have provided here. That is student passed, student obtained grade A. It means that if these two statements are following the indentation, it instructs the interpreter that these two statements are belonging to if statement. This is highly important point you should remember. These two statements are following the indentation here. It means that these two statements are belonging to the if statement here. So once you are coming out from the indentation, it means that that is the outside of your if statement. So this is an important syntax you have to remember here. That is print, enter the marks of the other subject. So once you run this code, so you are going to get enter the marks of the first subject. So 75 according to this condition. This condition is both the conditions are true here. Student passed, and parallelly it is printing this message also, that is student obtained grade A, and also it will going to print the last statement, that is enter the marks of the other subject. And second time once we are going to run this code, that is enter the marks of the first subject, 35. So condition false. If the condition false, keep you can observe here it is not executing, it is skipping the part of these two statement execution. Directly it will come to the last line, that is enter the marks of the other subject. And alternative execution. Alternative execution, I will go to the example directly. So x is equal to int, input of enter the value. If x is equal to 0 colon, print x is 0, x is elif. Alternative means, say for example, else if ladder in case of C. So how we are supposed to use that else if ladder in case of here is, if x is equal to 0 colon, print x is 0. So how we can go for another statement means I need to use the concept of elif here. Elif x is greater than 0, x is positive. And finally, if it is the last statement means it has to be, we need to write it as else here. That is print x is negative. So reading the input, if expression has to be terminated with the colon, press enter, press tab. That indentation plays a vital role here. And if it is true, it will execute this one. If it is false, it has to come to the next part, that is elif. This keyword you have to remember here, that is elif x is greater than 0 colon. You can add one more statement also, that is elif. So I think that this is the last statement. So for that purpose, I have added here is else here, that is else print x is negative. So this is the way of going for alternative execution. Next one is x is equal to int, and there is no concept of if I want to execute this statement, or I need to terminate with the last statement means I can use directly like this. That is if condition colon press enter press tab else press enter press tab. This thing it will going to get printed on the output window. So this is all about conditional execution and alternative executions. So everything is same. Might you have to follow the indentation here. Next one, another example I have considered the biggest of three numbers here. That is the first value I am reading, second value I am reading, third value I am reading. If A is greater than B, logical, and A is greater than C, colon, press enter, press tab, indentation we should follow. That is print A is bigger. If this is highly important, this keyword B is greater than A and B is greater than C, colon, press enter, press tab, print B is bigger, else it is printing the last message. So why I'm taking the simple example means when you are writing a Python code, you should follow the indentation. So syntaxes you should follow strictly here. And I think this is the example for calculating the average of three tests. I think reading the three test marks and calculating the average and best of two average, how we need to consider. Some simple example I have taken here. So this is how it is possible to read the value from the console and how we are supposed to follow the expression evaluation and how we are supposed to use the concept of conditional execution here. So this is all and like this way we can able to write the leap year expression also with the help of Python. And so this is all about conditional execution. So that completes the part of conditional executions. So only the thing you should follow the indentation part. Next one is functions. Next concept I will be taking here is functions. I think what is the meaning of a function everyone knows already, and how we are supposed to write the function in Python program is directly I'm going to take the example here. How to define the functions here is, so this is the way. If you want to define the function in Python means I need to use the keyword as definition, that is DEF. I need to use the keyword as definition, that is DEF, space, I need to give the name of the function here. I need to give the name of the function, that is print message. So this is how it is possible to define the name of the function, naming convention, and open and close brace. And I can able to pass the parameter. I may not able to pass the parameter here. It means that a user is not passing any parameter here. And after writing definition, name of the function, open and close brace, and has to be terminated with the colon, press enter, press tab. How we are going to identify the block of the function here is by seeing into the indentation part. First statement is following the indentation here. Second statement is following the indentation here. Third statement is following the indentation here. That is press enter, press tab. So these three statements are following the indentation. It means that these three statements are belonging to the function print message. So this is highly important. If you want to define the function in Python means I need to use the keyword as definition, that is DEF, space, name of the function, open and close brace. This is optional. Passing the parameter is optional. And after this open and close brace, this has to be terminated with the colon. And after this colon, press enter, press tab. So this is following the indentation. This statement is following the indentation. This statement is following the indentation. It means that these three statements are belonging to which function? Print message. So this is the way of providing the definition of a function in Python. Next one here is how we can call the Python function. So print message. So this is the way of invoking the function in Python. That message. So once you are going to run the code directly, it will start from the beginning line and it will parse these lines and finally it will encounter the function invocation. Once your interpreter encounters the function invocation, it will print these message on the console window. That is what is the message I have provided here, that will be get printed on the output window. So I need to know what is the type of this variable print message, means print message. So it is giving the information that, so print message. So within the print function also it is possible to call that function print message, means again it is calling the same function. Print type of print message means it is giving the information about that message. It is giving the information about that message. So this is the this is how we are going to define the function in Python. Next one is assume that this one example I have considered here, that is repeat lyrics open and close brace, and after that definition print lyrics, some printable statement I have written here, and after that definition repeat lyrics, within the body of the repeat lyrics function I am giving a call to the function print lyrics and print lyrics. So once you run this code, it won't execute properly. It won't execute properly. Why? Because your interpreter doesn't know whether repeat lyrics function is present within the body of this code or what. Because it will start from the beginning line here, so that it will give the error like this. So what is the concept I'm trying to convey to you people here is, before you are invoking the function, your interpreter has to aware of the function definition. I think in case of C, might you people know function declaration, function definition, function body, function invocation, everything you know, right? So that format and all we are not following in case of Python. Only important point you should remember here is, before you are invoking the function in Python, your Python interpreter should aware of that respected definition. Otherwise, your program will not going to give the proper output. So how I can come out from this error means, I need to modify this code as like this. I need to modify the code as like this. So anything happening here, that is definition, repeat lyrics, print lyrics, definition, print lyrics. Within the body of the print lyrics, I have written the print statement here. So repeat lyric here. So this is the function, this is one of the function. Once your interpreter comes to this line, it will be aware of repeat lyrics is already defined here, so that it will going to give an invocation to the repeat lyrics. Within the body of the repeat lyric function, it is giving an invocation to which function? Print lyrics. Again it is giving the invocation to the print lyrics function. So this is the way it will go to execute. So what is the thing you should remember here is, I will repeat it once again. In case of Python, so before you are invoking any function in your code, your Python interpreter should be aware of that definition. That's it. Your Python interpreter should be aware of its definition. And some of the example I have considered with respect to the function here for your better understanding. I think this is the example, just it will identify what is the reminder and what is the parameter here. So in this example, I'm trying to convey you people how we can pass parameter for the function in Python. How we can pass parameter for the function in Python. So as I told you, if it is a function program, I need to use definition keyword, space, name of the function I need to write. In this example, I'm passing two parameters. A comma B. So this is the way of passing a parameter. Again, we are not supposed to bother about data type, as I told you in the beginning itself. Definition solve A comma B colon, so close brace followed by colon, press enter, press tab. I think these three statements are belonging to the function solve here. Why? Because these three statements are following the indentation. Reminder is equal to A mod B, quotient is equal to A slash B, return. So what is the advantage of the Python function here is, at that time we can able to return more than two values here. At that time we can able to return more than two values here. So what is the more than two values? At that time we are returning the reminder value, at that time we are returning the quotient value. So this is the definition of this function. This is the definition of this function. So once I come out from this function, what is the thing I'm doing here is I'm reading the first value, that is a is equal to int input of enter the value of a, b is equal to int input of enter the value of b. So how I can accept more than one value from the function means this is the way of invoking the function here. That is reminder comma quotient is equal to solve of a comma b. It means that the first reminder will get assigned to the reminder here. The second value will get assigned to the second value here. So the reminder is reminder, you are going to get the reminder value. The quotient is quotient, you are going to get the quotient value here. So this is the way of passing the parameter for the function solve. This is the way of passing a parameter for the function solve here. I think might you people come to know that how we can pass a parameter in case of Python. So this is one of the advantage in case of Python programming language. And the next one here is just I have taken one simple example. It will convert a given Celsius thing into the Fahrenheit. It's a conversion. Here I'm passing only one parameter. There is no issue here. How I can accept one parameter? You can see that that is definition Fahrenheit parameter I'm passing. This is a statement. These two statements are belonging to the function Fahrenheit. And once I come out from the function, I'm reading the value. I'm reading the value. Once I read the value, I'm calling the function Fahrenheit by passing the red value as a parameter. Obviously, it is returning some value, so that I need to assign that value to one variable, that is a page. That calculated value I'm trying to printing on the output window. Next one is again I have implemented same. This is simple examples with the help of how we can use the function concept in Python to convey that basic thing. I have considered simple example here. I think might everyone knows here. I'm using the concept of leap year here. I'm passing an year as a parameter. That's it. And here I'm calculating the length of the string with the help of a function here. This is also one of the simple example on the string here. You can see that definition strnx, p is equal to max of x, q is equal to min of x, r is equal to len of x. I think max, min, len are an inbuilt function which are present in the string class. Max, min and length which are present in the string class here. So what is the thing? Once I come out from the function, I'm reading the string. I'm passing the red string as a parameter. So enter the string. So RAGHU I have entered. In this maximum character is U. Based on the ASCII value, it will go to calculate. The minimum character in the string is A, and the length of the character is 5. So like this, we can use the concept of a function. And one more thing is again we can use the concept of a recursion in this function, in the Python function concept. I'm using the concept of a recursion here. That is definition factorial n return. I think recursion, you know, right? Function calling itself. So recursion concept I'm trying to convey here. Next one is length of the string. This is one of the variations on the strings here. And one more thing here is one exercise I have considered, that is rewrite the grade program for the chapter. I think this is a grade program. I am using the concept of a function here. So I have defined the function like this, that is definition computer grade. This function, this is the body of this function. I am using the concept of alternative execution here. I'm calculating grade, that's it. That is, if score is greater than or is equal to 0.0 and score is less than or is equal to 1.0. If both the conditions are true, I need to execute this body. Based upon the marks, I need to describe whether it is grade A na, grade B na, grade C na, grade D na, grade F na. So otherwise, I need to write invalid score. So I'm reading the score here. Again, I think exception handling concept we have no right. So in the same way, exception handling, it is also possible in case of Python also with the help of try and except statement. Try and except statement, that is score is equal to float, compute grade. It is following the output like this. So this is the way of printing the grade on the output window. And one more thing here is more than two value. How your Python interpreter will going to return means some that is calculator, it will calculate the addition subtraction. Here I'm returning how many values totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the same order I have provided the variables here, that is first variable, second variable, third variable, fourth variable, fifth variable, sixth variable, and the respected message, it will respected result, it will going to get printed on the output window. Next one is iteration. I think iteration, everyone know it's a repeated execution of the given body. Here I will be considering the while statement. I will go to the syntax directly. So this is the way of writing the while statement in case of Python. That is I is equal to 0. If it is a while statement, I need to use the keyword as while space expression. I need to write it followed by colon. Press enter, press tab. Again, indentation plays a vital role in while also. Indentation plays a vital role in while statement also. That is print I is now dot format of I, and I plus 1 is equal to 1. So this is the how I'm going to get the output on the console window. So that is the repeated execution. So when your I value is 0, so I is now 0, I is now 1, I is now 2, I is now 3. I is now 1, I is the 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this, it will going to print the output window. I think it will get updated in the each and every iteration. So for the first time, I is 0, it will execute I plus 2. I think condition verification knows that. So this is the way of writing the while statement here. Next one is infinite loop. So infinite loop means, so you can consider this one. That is while true. I have not provided any condition here. Just have while true means until unless it will going to find the break statement repeatedly, it will execute the body here. That is while true colon. This is the first statement. This is the second statement. You can observe that within the body of the while statement, I have provided the conditional statement here. That is, if line is equal to done, break, it will comes out from the while statement. So print line, print done. You can observe that once you run the code, you are going to get the arrow mark symbol on the console window. So once you are going to type hello, what is the message you have typed, that you are going to get it on the output window. Next, it will be waiting for the second input. Welcome to KSIT. Next, once you press the enter done. So once you are going to enter the done, this statement will evaluates to true because entered input will be gets evaluated to done. So done is equal to done means break means I need to come out from the while statement so that I'm printing the message on the done on the output window. So this is the way of using the while statement in case of Python. Next, finishing iterations with continue. So what do you mean by continue statement? Everyone knows. It will skip the current iteration and it will go to the next iteration. It will skip the current iteration and it will go to the next iteration. That is while true, line is equal to input. If line of 0 is equal to hash, if entered line in the entered string, first character is hash means you have to skip that iteration. If entered line is equal to done means I need to enter break. I need to come out from the while statement. Otherwise, I need to print that line. So once I run this code, arrow mark symbol, hello world, there is no condition matching here. That is hello world. I got the output there. And here hash symbol I have provided. It means that first character is hash. It means that I need to skip that part of execution and I need to go to the I need to read the next input. That is welcome to KSIT, welcome to KSIT. So done, done. So this is the way of using the unconditional statement like continue and break in the while statement. And one example they have considered here, that is write a program which repeatedly reads numbers until the user enters done. Once done is entered, print out the total, count and average of the numbers. If the user enters anything other than the number, detect their mistake using try and except and print an error message and skip to the next number and skip to the next number. So like this, enter a number 4, enter a number 5, enter a number. So some irrelevant data I have entered here. If I'm going to enter the irrelevant data on the console window means I need to get the output as invalid input. So that enter a number 7, enter a number done. Once I enter the string done on the console window means it has to calculate what? It has to calculate the total count and average of the numbers. So this is the total, this is the count and this is the average of the numbers. So this is the example I have taken here. So total is equal to 0. So I think once you go through this code, you will come to know that what is the thing happening here. With the help of Python coding, I have done like this. That is total is equal to 0, count is equal to 0. While true, I have taken the help of infinite loop here. While true. So try colon. So these statements are belonging to the body try, except colon. These two statements are belonging to the body except here. So I'm trying to read the input from the console. That is input is equal to input of enter a number. If red input is equal to done, break means I need to come out from the while statement here. Once I come out from the while statement, I need to calculate the average and I need to print the total, count and average. If this condition is not satisfying, what is the thing I'm doing? I'm reading the input from the console. Once I read the input, I'm converting that red input to the float here. I'm adding that converted into the variable value. So parallelly, I'm incrementing the total variable. That is total is equal to total plus value. Count is equal to count plus 1. And here I'm calculating the total of the entered variables. Here I'm calculating the count of the variables here. Count of the variables here. Except other than this thing, anything happened here means it will throw the exception. It will come to the except. It will give the invalid input. If other than the numbers, if the user has entered anything means it will come to the exception code and it will print the message as invalid input and continue means it will go to the next iteration. So this is the way we have designed here like this. Enter a number 4, enter a number 5, enter a number bad data. If it is other than numbers, it is giving the message as invalid input. It will skip that part and it will go to the next iteration, enter a number 7, enter a number done. So total, count, average, it will be gets printed on the output window. Write another program that prompts for a list of numbers as above and end the prints out both maximum and minimum of numbers. So same thing. What is the difference between previous exercise and this exercise here is, once the end user enters the done, instead of calculating the sum, total and average, I need to calculate what is the maximum number in it, what is the minimum number in it. So I need to calculate that one. So this is, I think, how to calculate the maximum number and how to calculate the minimum number. So you people know that is I have considered two variable, largest, smallest, while again I taken the help of infinite loop here, try. These statements are belonging to the try block. These two statements are belonging to the except block. So I'm reading the input. If the red input is done, break. I need to come out from the while statement itself. Read the input. Once I read the input, you calculate which is the smallest and which is the largest by using this algorithm. And other than number, if the user has entered anything, it will come to the exception. It will come to the exception. Once it will come to the exception code, it will print the message as invalid input and it will skip that iteration. And once user has entered done, it will come out from the while statement and it will print smallest and largest here. So this is the way: enter a number, enter a number, enter a number, enter a number, enter a number. Enter a number, I have entered bad input here so that it will go to the exception part. Invalid input, it will skip that iteration. Again, it is trying to read the another value, that is enter a number 7 and enter a number. Once I have entered done here, it will encounter break statement in the code and it will come out from the while statement and it will print which is the minimum value here and which is the maximum value here. So next one here is for loop we are discussing. I think this is the last topic that I am going to discuss here. A for loop works by iterating over some set of values. It assigns each values one by one to one or more variables. It then executes a block of code once for each value. The set of values comes from a sequence or some other iterable objects. An iterable object is anything that can be iterated over. That means a sequence is also an iterable. So I have considered the simple example. I have taken a string here, world is equal to hello world. So what is the iteration limit? This is how we need to write a for in case of Python. I need to write a keyword as for space iteration variable I need to consider here. This is highly important. This char will act as an iteration variable here. This char in word colon again colon press enter press tab. Again I need to follow the indentation here. Print char. So you can ask me one question. up to what extent your for will going to execute. That limit depends on the number of characters which is present in the string here. So for the first time it will display H, E, L, L, O, space also it will consider W, O, R, L, D. So this is the way of using the for in Python. And next one thing is we are discussing with the help of range here, that is for iteration variable I in range 1 comma 20. 1 comma 20. So range 1 comma 20 means your range includes starts from 1 up to 19. It not include the last given range. It won't include the last range here. 1 to 19. So print I is now dot format. Dot format is a function of a string that it will replace the value which is that it will replace this placeholder with the respected value here. That is I for the first time your I value is 1, second time your I value is 2, like that your range will works from 1 to 19. So this is the way of using the range function in the Python. This is the way of using the range function in the Python. Next one is for I in range 20. For I in dot format means I am not using any initial value and the final value. Once you are going to give only one value, so this is also your code will start from 0. By default, it will start from 0 and it will give the output up to the 19. It won't include the given limit. It won't include the given limit here. Next one is for I in range 0 comma 10 comma 2. So what exactly the thing from 0 to 10, it will print the numbers with the difference of 2. From 0 to 10, it will print the numbers with the difference of 2 here. That is I is now 0. What is the next number it has to print here? 2. What is the next number it has to print here? 4, 6 and 8. So like this, it will print the values in the range way. Next one is for I in range 10 comma 0 comma minus 2. I think it is printing the value in the reverse order. That is 10. What is the next one? 8. What is the next one? 6. What is the next one? 4. What is the next one? 2. And we can use the list as an iteration. I think open and this square bracket within the value, this is a list in case of Python. That is friends is equal to this list contains 3 variables, that is Raghu, Ram, Tejas. Friend, this is an iteration variable for the list friends here. Friend in friends, Happy New Year. So how many values are present? How many values are present here? 3 values. So 3 times it will going to execute. That is Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Once it will print all these 3 values, it will going to print the message on the console window. So loop patterns. I think again in the with the help of this one, we are calculating the total of list values. Total of list values. We are finding the count of what is the how many counts are present. Don't confuse here. Here we are calculating the how many values which are present in this list here. So thank you. So these are the topic I have covered in this FTP. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sir, do we have ternary operator in Python? Can we use it?
Ternary operator. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, ternary operator, sir.
Yes, you can go for ternary operator.
Is it same syntax as we have in C, or it differs, sir?
I have not covered that part. You can go for that. You can go for that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
ಹಲೋ
Yes, sir.
ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಹಾಂ ಜಸ್ಟ್
Hello.
ವೇಟ್ ಹಾಂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಆತೈತಿ ಹಲೋ
ಹಾ, ಹಾ,
ಹಾಂ
ಕೆಲ್ಸ ಆತ್.
ಹಾಂ ಕೆಲಸ ಆತಲ್ಲ ಹಾಂ
ಹಾ, ಕೆಲ್ಸತ್ ಸರ್.
ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಹಾಂ
Okay, sir.
ಹಾಂ ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಹ್ಞೂ
Okay, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಈಗ 48 ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡು ಏನು ಹೇಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಮಿಟಿ
So good afternoon. Good afternoon. Myself.
Good afternoon.
Good. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, myself Lokesh Gajantri from BC Balkot. Okay. So I take this opportunity to introduce the speaker of this session. Is Mr. Yadunandan LH. Okay. So he has completed BE ISc from BC Bagalkot in the year of 2014, and also he did MTech from SJC Mysore in the year of 2016. And he worked at Infosys Limited Bangalore as a data analyst. Also, he served as a research analyst at WNS Global Services. And presently, he is working at 82 Pro Media Solutions Bangalore as a data science engineer for past 5 years. And Mr. Yadunandan has recognized with the WNS League of Champion Award for Python programming, and also he received employee recognition in Intel for working on integrated formula classing tool, and also he has presented an idea on virtual trial room concept and won the Intel India Makers Lab Challenge 2016. And he received Best Outgoing Student Award for the year of 2014 from Department of ISc, BSc Bagalkot. And he also worked as a Vice President of Department of ISc, BSc Bagalkot for the year 2014. So this is a short biography of today's resource person, Mr. Yadunandan LH. Okay, thank you. Yadunandan, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll over to you. Yadunandan.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Yadunandan. So I'll take this session for data analytics, like which all important libraries we use in data analytics. Prior to starting this session, please anyone confirm, like, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. In the first session, you already gone through basics of Python. So I think Professor Raghavendra already covered most of the stuff regarding basic Python, like various data types and containers, lists, tuple stuffs, and also like conditional statements and functions and different classes and objects in Python. So I also want to tell how this Python programming derived Python as a name. So you already know that Python programming is invented by Guido van Rossum. Like earlier in 70s, there was a famous comedy show in BBC Network. It is done by author called Monty Python. So Guido van Rossum was a fan of Monty Python, so he named after a language implemented on the name of Monty Python. So I think you already like Professor Raghavendra already covered something about Anaconda. Anaconda is a data science package. So it has most of the packages which we use for data science. It has more than 300 libraries in it. So if you want to start with Python, if you want to start with data analytics using Python, it's better to install this Anaconda library. So it is a complete package. So to do that, you can follow this link which is provided here. So it will give you the overview of Anaconda, and also like for different OSs how you can implement, how you can install Anaconda. For this session, I am using integrated development environment Jupyter Notebook. So there are various IDEs to run Python programs. For example, there is a PyCharm IDE, Spider IDE. For this session, I'm using Jupyter Notebooks. So like here in Jupyter Notebook, it is basically similar to Markdowns, like Markdowns we use for blog writing and all. So here we can type the descriptions, and also like we can code it here, and also we can write some as in the same blog. In today's session, our two libraries, and in tomorrow's session, I'll be covering Matplotlib and scikit-learn. So these are the four libraries which I'll cover throughout this like 2 days sessions. So first we start with NumPy. So far it's clear. Somebody just text it in chat box. Hello.
I can continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll start with NumPy. So NumPy is called after, like, it's numerical Python, short form of numerical Python.
This conference will now be recorded. This conference is no
For
longer
example,
being
if you want
recorded.
to if you want to calculate something on a particular
This
list,
conference will
for
now
example,
be recorded.
if you want to calculate mean of a particular list, you can directly do it uh, using some of the mathematical implementation that already there in NumPy. So there are various mathematical functions for calculating correlations and for calculating square root, log, sine. These all calculations are already implemented in NumPy. So to install this NumPy package, you can directly go to your uh, terminal and type pip install numpy, and you can install this numpy package there. To import this package, you have to type this particular statement: import uh, library name is numpy, and I'm giving np as alias for this. Instead of using numpy again and again, I'll use np in upcoming code itself. So to import, you have to run this. To run this cell, you have to just click. You can run this cell using a run command, or else you can just type shift enter. This particular cell will be run. So next, like, I'll talk something about NumPy arrays. So it's similar to arrays which you deal with regular programming languages in C programming and all. So this is a array data structure which can be, each elements of arrays can be accessed using indexing. So similar to that, in NumPy also we have these kinds of one dimensional array and two dimensional array. We call it as ND arrays in NumPy. So to start with one dimensional array, uh, to create a one dimensional array, you have to use a NumPy function np.array and pass a list to it. So this is my list, like 1 2 3 is list elements, and I am passing it into np.array function. So once you pass this and just run this cell, you will get a you already created an one dimensional array. It's basically a vector. You can call it as a vector. So if you want to check what is there in this particular array, you can just print it and you'll get the result. So, so this is your new np.array. To check like what is the type of this, you can simply use type of a, and you also can check the shape of this particular array using array name dot shape. So this is of type numpy.nd array, and like shape is as it's a vector, it's a one dimensional array. Its shape is 3. So to it's similar to C programming arrays. To access each element of array, you can directly use indexing. To access first element a of 0, to access second element a of 1. These kinds of indexing you can use to access each element of an array. To change, if you want to change a first element to some other number, you can use indexing and assign some values. Whichever value you want to assign, you can assign, and that particular value is assigned to that location of an array. So now I'm assigning 5 to first element, and once after assigning and printing the array, you're saying like earlier it was 1 2 3, now I got 5 2 3. So similarly, this is all about like one dimensional array. Similarly, you can to create a two-dimensional array, you are passing two lists basically it's list of lists. You are passing a, a list, like two lists inside a single list. So this will create a matrix of rank 2, and you can see the results. So this has rows and columns. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. If you want to check the shape, similarly as you've done for one-dimensional array, you can directly type b dot shape. It will give you shape, and to get the each elements. For example, if you want first row and the element at first row and first column, you just type 0 0 comma 0, and first row and first row second column 0 comma 1. Similarly, if you want to access uh, second row and first column, you have to type 1 comma 0, because like indexes start from 0. It's always like you have to first column will index will start from 0. You will get the shape of this two-dimensional array is 2 comma 3. So 2 rows and 3 columns, and first element is 1 and second element is 2. Likewise, you can access using indexes. NumPy also provides some useful functionalities. For example, if you want to create a two-dimensional array of zeros, so there is like for some mathematical functions, you need to create a two-dimensional array with all zeros. So at that time, there are some inbuilt functionalities which we use for creating such arrays. For that, like if you want to create an array of 0, a two-dimensional array of 0, you directly type np.zeros and what size you want. Like for example, if you want 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 3, you can pass it here. So I'm creating a 2 cross 2 array of zeros. Similarly, you can create 1 cross 2 array of ones. For these are for zeros and ones. Other than zeros and ones, if you want to create a two-dimensional array with some constant element, for example, I'm creating a 2 cross 2 matrix with all the elements as 7. For that, you have to use np.full. This is one function, and you pass the size of your matrix, and also like you are passing the element which you want. So it will create 2 cross 2 matrix with value 7. Similarly, you can pass any other value if you want. So just copy this. So if you want some say 9 and 3 cross 2 or 3 cross 3, just pass it. It will create different matrices with that particular number. Similarly, you can create an identity matrix. You can here in earlier for np.full and all, you are passing 3 cross 3, but in identity matrix, as it is always a square matrix, you just pass argument as 2. It will create a 2 cross 2. If you pass 3, it will create a 3 cross 3 identity matrix. This is identity matrix. Similarly, if you want if you want a matrix with random numbers, there is a random function in NumPy implementations. So this will generate different random numbers, and using those random numbers, you can create two-dimensional arrays. There are some useful functions which we use on these array elements. First one, like if you want to create, if you want to calculate the sum of a particular array, this is basically a single. These functions work on a single array, whether it's a two-dimensional or one-dimensional array. It will work on a single array. So if you want to calculate sum of two different arrays, then those functions are different. I'll tell about those in next step. So these are some of the functions to calculate sum, product, mean, variance, and standard deviation. So I'm just executing this. So it will create, for example, I'm taking a array as 2, 3, 4, and it will create to calculate sum. You just type b dot sum. To calculate product, b dot product. Similarly, you can calculate mean, variance, and standard deviation. So so far it's clear. Hello.
Yeah, you can continue, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Whatever, is it clear?
So now let me talk about two-dimensional arrays, how we can index two-dimensional array. For example, if you have 3 cross 3 matrix and you want one sub-array from that. Earlier we just talked about a single element, but if you want inside a 3 cross 3 matrix, you want to extract a 2 cross 2 matrix, a sub-array. Uh, at that time, what we can do? So you already know about a list, right? So there you are using slicing. So for example, if you want, I'll just take an example of a list. So there just consists list one. To get first second and third element, you can just type and comma 3. So it will give you second and third element. Say this is for a list. Say if you have a matrix of 3 cross 3 and you want a sub matrix from it of 2 cross 2, how we can do? We can use the similar slicing in NumPy also, as we do in list. A similar slicing we can use in NumPy. So I'm creating a two-dimensional array of size 3 cross 4, and I want to extract if the array will be of 1 2 3 4 like this is complete array, and I want the elements 2 3 6 7 from it. So I can use slicing as we done for list. Similarly we can use slicing. So 2 3 6 7, 2 is at position first row and second column. So for that I am using this slice. This will give me first row and second column. Similarly, this is second row and third column. So this will cover all these 4 elements, this particular slice. And once I print this, I'll get this sub matrix from a 3 cross 3 matrix. Similarly, like if you want to
Voice clear ಇಲ್ಲ
assign some values to a particular
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್
index,
ಸೊ
you can do
ಹಂಗಾಗಿ
that.
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ
So
ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ
here I am assigning now I got this particular sliced list in B.
ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ನಾಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ
So in B, if you type 0 cross 0, so this is 2 now. So I want to change it to some other number. Say I want to change it to 77. So how I can do? Like you just equal to 77 something, or less some 50 32 something. So now you just check. So it will be 32. So once you change the values inside B, the A values will be also changed. For example, if I print A now, see the second value is earlier it was 2, so now it is 32. So it's basically, so B is pointing to the address of that particular location. Hello.
ಹಲೋ
Yeah. The next step is like doing indexing using numbers. So here we done with slices, this indexing using slices. We can also do indexing using booleans and numbers. For example, if you want to calculate indexing using boolean, you just you have some condition. For example, you are creating a array, a two-dimensional array, and you want elements which are greater than 2. So for that you have to first create a boolean index. So this boolean index holds like so A is an array, a NumPy array. So it has it is a two-dimensional array, and in this, like, the elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all are true. Like wherever it's greater than 2, I'm getting a boolean index as true, or else it's false. So to get these elements, now I got a boolean index. Using this boolean index, I can display which all elements.
ಈಗ ಅವ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹಾಂ ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ನೋಡಿ.
check network is good at 360 under 60 minutes.
ಇದನ್ನು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಜಿಯೋನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು. ಇದಲ್ಲ
ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕಾಗದ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಸರ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗತ್ತೈತೆ ರೀ. ಇದನ್ನು ಗೋ ಟು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ರೈಟ್. ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಡ್
ಮಾಡಿ
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ
ಹಾಕಿ.
ಸರಿ.
ನಾಲ್ಕು ಲಕ್ಷ
ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕ್ಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಮರಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕ್ಸೋದು ಏನು 8 GB ಏನಂತೇಳಿ ಇದು ಭಯಂಕರ ಸ್ಲೋ ಇತ್ತು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೋಲ್ತಾನೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ ಜಿಯೋ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಲೋ ಐತೆ
ಸ್ಲೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಡೇಟಾ ಖಾಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ.
ಈ ಸಲ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋದು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ರು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ
ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ
ಹಾಂ
ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸರಿ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಬರಾಕತ್ತೀನಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್
ಯಾರು?
ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬರಾಕತ್ತೆ?
ಯಾರು ಫೋನ್ ಅದು? ಚಲೋ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್
ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ
ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಐತೆ. ಬಂತು ನೋಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ?
ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತೀನಿ ಜಿಮೇಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎರಡು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡು.
ತಡಿ ಇದು ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ನೋಡಿ ಚಲೋ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಅದು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡು, ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡು.
ಎರರ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಿಜ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ರಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ನೀನು ಸ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ. ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕೈತಿ. ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ನೀವು ಓಪನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಹಾಕತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್?
ಅದು ತಾನು ಇದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ತಾನೆ. ಇದು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ತೋರ್ಸಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅದಾಗೈತಿ.
ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಕ ತೋರಿಸು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ
ಬಂತು.
ಇದು ಎಫ್ಡಿಪಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡು. ಈಗ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ ಓಪನ್. ಅದು ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಒಂದು ಮಿನಿಟ್ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು.
ಏನು
ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ರಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಆದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಎರರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಗೋ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಎರರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇರೋ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಟು ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ರಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವರ್.
ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಅಣ್ಣ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದ ಸೇಮ್ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ
ರೆಡಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್
ಬರೋದು. ಅದು ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಪನ್ ರನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಅವರು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಬಂದಿಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಅದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. ಏನು ಬರಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಕಳ್ಸಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು 108 ದಿನ
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್
ಬರಾಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗೈತೆ. ಏನು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತ? ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಾಟಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕದ.
ಓಪನ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪುಕ್ಷಟಿ ಕೊಡೋ.
ತಡಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ರಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಂಟ್ ಆಕೈತೆ. ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕಿ
ಅಲ್ಲ cannot process your request right now. Please check internet connection, tag and contact you. Internet ಸ್ಲೋ ಇತ್ತು. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನಮ್ದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸನ್ನ
ಯಾವುದು ಹಾಟ್ಸ್ಪಾಟ
ನಮ್ದು
ಜಿಯೋ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಯಾಕೋ ಇದು ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಬೇಕು.
ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ.
ನಮ್ದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹಾಟ್ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಲ
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಬರ್ತೈತೆ ನೋಡೋದು.
ಬಂದು ನೋಡೋದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ
ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬೇಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಐತಿ.
ಈಗ 192 ಹಾಕೋದು.
ಐತಿ
ರೀಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್.
ಇದು ಆಯ್ತು. ಬೇಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೇವನೆ ಸರಿ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಂತ.
ಹಲೋ
ಸರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ
ಸರ್, 1 ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಅದ. ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ರೀಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ವಿ. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್. ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು
ವೇಟ್ ವೇಟ್ ವೇಟ್
ಮತ್ತು ವೇಟ್
ಅದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಹೊಡಿ.
ಆಗಲೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಇದು ಆಗಲೂ ಬಂತಿದ್ದೆ
ಆಯ್ತು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾವ್ದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು?
ಜಿಯೋ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು
ಮತ್ತೆ
ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತು
ಇದನ್ನು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಲ ಜಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಲ.
ಇದೇನು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇದು ಕಂಪನಿ ನೇಮ್ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ದುಡ್ಡು ಐತಿ. ಯಾವ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. process.
ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಜಿಯೋ
ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಪ್ಪ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾವ ಬಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದವೆ.
ಜಿಯೋದೊಂದು ಚಾಲೂ ಐತಣ್ಣ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಐತಲ್ಲ ಅದು
ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರ್ದು ಐತೆ ಇದು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಐತಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ಹಂಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕತ್ತಾನೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾನೆ.
ಯಾರು ಹಂಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಅವ್ರು ಫೋನ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ. ಈಗ ಮುಗಿತು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಪಾಟ್ನ ಬರ್ಬೇಕೀಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್. ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ನನಗೇನು ಮರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದ್ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಬೇರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಹಾಕತ್ತಾನೆ.
ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗೈತೆ ತಡಿಪ್ಪ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಲೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಮಾಡಾಕತ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ರಿಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸರಿ.
ಇದೇನೋ ವೆರಿಫೈ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಬಂದು ಅಂತ ಹೊಡೆದತ್ತಾನೆ.
ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು.
ಇಷ್ಟ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಡ್ಲ.
ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು.